I'm guessing that a lot of you out there are fans of President Donald J. Trump, right? He spoke yesterday. He spoke yesterday. I know it went very well. Of course, he's a friend of mine, and of course, I've endorsed him for president in 2024. And I want to leave you with this thought, that there are a lot of things that I could say about President Trump's presidency. I could talk about tax reform. I could talk about the fact that we just for the first time during his 4 years started to push back against communist China. I could talk about the fact that he's the only presidential candidate speaking about the economic issues that matter, not just to the people in this room, but those all-important swing voters that we've got to win over. Those things are all true. But the strongest argument I can make for Donald Trump is where I started this speech, that when everybody else is telling lies about Ukraine, there is one man on the national stage telling the truth, and that's Donald J. Trump. You know, there was a really important moment during the presidential campaign, something that I would encourage you all, go home, go to Rumble or YouTube or whatever you watch your videos on, and go and find this clip. It was Donald Trump at the CNN town hall. You remember this a couple months ago? And whatever mainstream reporter they had asked him the question and said, well, whose side are you really on? Are you on the Russia side or are you on the Ukrainian side? And of course, that's a stupid answer. I'm on America's side. That should be our answer, right? We should always say we're on America's side. We can like the Ukrainians. We can not like the Russian aggression. We're on America's side. That's the only answer we should expect from our future president. Now, every politician that I know, at least on a national stage, maybe even myself, would have taken the bait, right? They would have taken the reporter's bait, but Trump didn't. What he said was, I want the killing to stop, right? I want the killing to stop. That, ladies and gentlemen, that is the statesmanship that we need in this moment. That America comes first, and what is in the best interest of this country, and what is in the best interest of all of us as human beings, for the killing to stop. We send that country, Ukraine, $200 billion. The idea that we don't have the leverage to stop this conflict with the snap of our fingers is a joke. And anybody who tells you we can't stop this war is lying to you. $200 billion buys you a lot, and what it buys us is leverage, and we ought to use it. But I want to encourage all of you, especially those young people who have not yet committed to a presidential candidate. I want to encourage you to get out there and support President Trump. And look, the reason is simple. There is a species of establishment Republican that if you told me this 2 years ago, I might not even have believed you that this person exists, but they do. Now, you all know them. They're the establishment hack in Washington, D.C. They put the Ukrainian flag in their Twitter bio or their Facebook profile. They care far more about the people who live 6,000 miles away than they do about the citizens of their own country. We all know these people. Of course, I've been exposed to them a lot in the last 6 months because I've been in Washington, D.C. all about 6 months. But you know what I find so interesting about those people is how they never have that compassion for the citizens of their own country. For the mom who's mourning a son who died of a fentanyl overdose, for the young man whose dad has lost years off their life, for the troop who fought and bled and maybe died in a foreign land because America's leaders made a mistake. They never have that same compassion for the citizens of their own country. Well, what I'd ask you to do is to have that compassion, to have that love. When I say America's not just a nation of ideas, what I mean is this whole American project doesn't work unless you feel it deep in your bones, that love of your fellow citizens, of your countrymen. When you read about our great historical moments, you need to feel not just that they did heroic things, but that they were your people building something heroic that you and your children and your grandchildren deserve to inherit. And I love you, ma'am. Thank you. And I will say, there is no issue that these people with the Ukrainian flags in their bio are more obsessed with. They call it entitlement reform. But of course, what they're saying is that they want to cut Social Security for the people who paid into it for a generation so that we can send more money to Volodymyr Zelensky in Ukraine. Do we want to do that? Absolutely not. And the one person who's standing against it on the national stage right now is Donald Trump. So here's my message to all of you, and here is our message to everybody who's listening, whether you're in this room or on television. If you want to immiserate our grandmothers and grandfathers to send another yacht to Volodymyr Zelensky and his administration, hell no, make America great again. Let's go and show them over the next 2 years. God bless.